Today on Fresno State Focus, what associated students are doing to try to get out the student vote.
Also, distracted driving and the loss of one family feels after the death of a Clovis High graduate.
Plus, Kids Day was a record breaker and Fresno State students played a big part. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Johnny Martin.
And I'm Cecilia Murillo. It's time to make yourself heard by voting in the 2016 student government elections. Fresno State students will have the opportunity to vote for candidates starting from March 15th through Thursday, March 17th at noon. Election Commissioner Aldene Williams encourages all students to vote because whoever wins will be their voice.
Important for the students outside of ASI to vote for their student body government because, for one, whoever you're electing is that's going to be your voice. So
the ballot is available online and a polling booth will be on campus. The first 1,000 students who vote will get a bag of Skittles as a thank you from ASI. Fresno State students took to the streets newspapers to sell for Kids Day. This is a day where everyone can support Valley Children's Hospital by buying a Fresno Bee newspaper for just $1. Dozens of Fresno State clubs, sororities, and fraternities camped out to get the best spot to sell papers. Kids Day has raised more than $6 million since 1987.
Distracted driving is one of the leading causes for car accidents among teens and young adults. I got a chance to take a closer look into the big issue and how we can avoid being the next statistic. That was the final 10 seconds of life for a Clovis High graduate who died in a car accident in December. Tyler Smedley was driving home from work when he tried to record a video. He lost control of his car and smashed into a tree. That was the sound of the crash at the end of the video. Smedley's best friend Leslie Trantham found out via a text message.
At first I didn't believe it. My friend messaged me because she didn't want me to find out by going on Facebook, and I was like devastated.
Following the accident, Smedley's brother hopes that nobody makes the same mistake.
They shouldn't text or drive because my brother got killed.
Experts say you are 23 times more likely to get in an accident if you are texting while driving. In the year 2013, more than 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle accidents involving a distracted driver. Drivers in their 20s make up 1/4 of the distracted drivers in fatal crashes. Fresno State professor Dr. Tamara Pierce has been studying distracted driving for over 7 years now. Pierce says if we ever want those numbers to go down, we need to keep our phones put away while driving.
We know that we're going to be tempted to look at it, and especially if the sound goes off that triggers us to have to look at it and see what just came in. The best advice is just to turn your cell phone off completely.
Joining us now to talk about her stand against distracted driving is Tyler's mom, Denise. Denise, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So I got to ask, what was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
I was stunned. I found out through my sister because they couldn't get a hold of me, and I just started screaming and crying because at first we didn't know that it was distracted driving until the tow truck found his cell phone.
And so what about this situation made you think, this is my chance to take a stand and bring awareness to distracted driving?
I don't want any other family to go through what me and my family was going through. Tyler made a mistake, and I know he regrets it. And there's too many teenagers, young adults, and even adults ourselves that are picking up that phone and texting, emailing, selfies, anything.
And I understand you're speaking at high schools. How are those efforts to raise awareness going?
It's going pretty good, actually. Impact Teen Drivers picked up Tyler's story, and me and my sister are actually going down to LA next month to do a press conference. And they're going to have a big old huge picture of Tyler, and they're going to have Tyler's story, and they're going to take on Tyler's story, and they're going to use Tyler's story for other high schools throughout the United States.
And if somebody wanted to help or learn more about Tyler's story, how can they do that?
I do have a Facebook page called Loved Ones Against Texting and Driving, and then I also have a group called Tyler's Voice, Tyler's Voice Against Distracted Driving. And those I post pictures of accidents and everything. There's Tyler's videos on there, and there's other videos that I made about Tyler's car.
And if you were to see somebody texting and driving right now, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to please stop, put the phone away, learn from my son who made a mistake.
Well, thank you, Denise, for coming and talking to us.
You're welcome.
We've been talking to Tyler's mom, Denise Houle.
A humorous look at medicine in a play called Malpractice is coming up. Here's Joseph Castellon with that story and more in entertainment news.
One local band is managing to make some noise in the Valley music scene. The Fresno band, We Beasties, is creating a lot of buzz. I was able to catch them in action during their last show. The band has only been together less than a year, but has managed to record their debut EP, as well as open for the indie rock band, Gardens and Villa. The band plans to tour and hope to complete their first full-length album by the end of 2016. We Beasties will be playing Grizzly Fest on May 7th. They will share the stage with bands Slightly Stoopid and Cold War Kids. The band hopes to have their EP completed before the end of March. You can find them online at Facebook and Instagram at We Beasties Music. To check out their music, go to soundcloud.com/We Beasties. One professor is passing her love of movement onto her students during the Fresno State Theater's latest production.
They took all my blood, so you're going to talk?
Fresno State Theater's latest production, Malpractice or Love is the Best Doctor, will have its actors moving thanks to director Ruth Griffin. Griffin hopes to show that movement and dance is just as important in a stage production as the acting itself.
When I saw my first physical theater troupe, I thought, I've never seen anything so alive and so freewheeling in the directions it would take.
Griffin's love of movement is what originally drew one of the actors to this project.
I had worked with a director who had taken a lot of influence from working with Ruth. And knowing that she is movement-based and I'm basically dumb in my body, I really wanted to kind of break out of what I knew and try someone totally different.
The physical nature of this play didn't slow the cast members down. In fact, one cast member shared her biggest lesson she learned during rehearsals.
How important it is for me to stay in tune with my body, because last semester I didn't do any sort of performance, and through this, Ruth has really helped me to kind of get back in check with myself and be able to perform through that, and that was really special for me.
Posters for this play can be seen all over campus. The woman on the poster is the late Joan Mankin. Mankin originated the role of Lucinda, who is one of the play's main characters. Griffin dedicates this production to Mankin's untamed spirit. Malpractice opens this Friday and runs until March 19th. That's entertainment news. Back to Cecilia and Johnny.
It's halfway through the spring semester, and that means Grad Fest 2016 is here. Senior students picked up their grad boxes yesterday and today, right next to the bookstore. It was a festive atmosphere with the opportunity to buy all things Fresno State. Tori Campbell, a psychology student, had this to say.
Like, I am so happy that this is really happening. It finally set in on me that I'm really going to be graduating. It's a long time coming.
Graduation is exactly 71 days away. It's still not late to order your cap and gown. Graduation will be taking place on May 21st. It's difficult enough trying to raise kids these days. It's more challenging when they're deaf, and even more so when English isn't their first language. Coming up, a special program for Latino parents with deaf children.
Plus, who are all these kids in Fresno State Studio A? We'll tell you about a special visit today when we come back.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates, as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
This is our Fresno State, forming relationships and learning experiences that last a lifetime, making friends who are like family, learning from professors who treat us like family, and earning a degree to make a better future for our family. Engaging our alumni generation by generation by generation. This is our Fresno State. Welcome to the family.
Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing today in this Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a good time. Let's look at our weather. As you can see in the East Coast, there's no major system storms going on right now, but as you can see, Louisiana, Arkansas, and part of Texas are having some heavy rain for themselves. Possible flooding, so hopefully people are staying indoors, not going outside unless they have to, but they need to take that into consideration. And looking at our state, California, we do have some rain going on in the northern part, and I will tell you why. We have a weak system going over the west coast that it's bringing some clouds into the region, and it's bringing some showers that will kind of brush into the Yosemite area, which is good. And today, actually, the northern part of Fresno County is going to get some rain as well. And although this system is weak, it will affect our weekend, but I will tell you more about that in just a second. For our air quality, as you can see, San Joaquin is good, Stanislaus moderate, Merced is good, Madera and Fresno moderate, and while Kings, Tulare, and Kern counties are good air. Sequoia National Park is good as well, so not too bad at all. For our temperatures today, our highest is going to be 67 degrees with winds going 5 miles per hour coming from the south-southeast, and humidity of 67% and partially cloudy. It's not too bad, so it's going to be comfortable weather. And as I said, 67 degrees today. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to have a rise in our temperature. Not too much, just to 73 degrees, but not too bad. It's going to be sunny, so put your sunblock on, take care of your skin. And Friday, as you can see, we're going to have rain. And that's because of that storm system that I told you about. Although it's weak, it's going to bring some rain, but it's totally fine. It's going to be 65 degrees on Friday. Saturday is going to be partially sunny, 66 degrees with a chance of showers that night. So keep an eye on that. Sunday, chance of rain as well, 64 degrees. And starting our work week, we're going to have a chance of rain Monday and Tuesday and going down to lower 60s. So take a look at that. Be careful when you drive to work that morning. Keep your eyes open. And now back to the news with Johnny.
Many Latino parents struggle raising their children in America, but these struggles become harder to overcome when the children suffer from a hearing deficiency. Fresno State Focus reporter Nicole Orsieri took a deeper look at the obstacles these parents face.
Ago 10 years ago. She has struggled raising her deaf daughter in the United States, and she says the transition has not been easy.
Here's where I felt that I have held back with her, because here it's different.
Morales and her daughter Marlene were two of the many Latinos who attended a lecture in the Silence Garden at Fresno State. The event was organized to help Latino parents with deaf and hard of hearing children. Morales and her daughter receive a class at home once a week to learn more American Sign Language. But even with the help, it is still hard for them to communicate.
Sometimes she doesn't understand me, or I don't understand her, and then she talks too fast, and I get lost.
More than 50% of deaf or hard of hearing children are part of a Latino family where the main language spoken is Spanish, but unfortunately there are not many resources in this language. Irma Sanchez and her husband are the founders of the non-profit organization called Deaf Latinos. Sanchez says the communication is very important. She encourages parents not to see the hearing incapacity of their children as a communication barrier.
I want them to be like, hey, how was school? But tell me about your day. More, have a more detailed conversation.
Fresno State's deaf study professor Paul Ogden is the founder of the Silent Garden. He says the main obstacle Latino parents have to deal with are the low expectations they have of their deaf or hard of hearing children.
They don't realize that their deaf children can aspire to be anything, because deaf people can do anything.
Even though raising a Latino child with hearing difficulties might not be easy, it is not impossible, and help is available. Nicole Orsieri, Fresno State Focus.
It isn't always It isn't always easy to make good food choices when you're a college student. But Noemi Jimenez with Bulldogs in the Kitchen is here to help. Thanks for joining us, Noemi. So tell us a little bit about Bulldogs in the Kitchen.
Yes, Bulldogs in the Kitchen is a program that helps athletes learn how to cook healthy meals in order to help sustain their athletic performance.
Oh, that's great. So tell us what we're doing today. What are you making for us?
Today we're making a refreshing cold gazpacho soup, and we're going to top it off with sauteed eggplant.
Sounds delicious. So let's get started.
Okay, so what you're going to do, we have, as you can tell, this is actually a very simple recipe, very minimal ingredients that are very affordable for any student, anyone who's on a busy schedule. So what we're going to do, we are actually going to process each of these ingredients into the food processor individually. After you've done that, you will mix them into a large mixing bowl. So we'll have them all in the mixing bowl. And of course, they will be processed, and you will mix them. You are going to flavor them with a little bit of wine vinegar, about a 1/4 cup. And then also you're going to add olive oil, minced garlic. We have minced garlic here. And then you're also going to flavor with some sea salt and then pepper, and that's it. So once it's done, it will actually look just like this. So you want the soup to be a little bit, you want texture in it, so you want the ingredients to be processed a little chunky. And then once you've done that, we're gonna have you try it. We have the sauteed eggplants right here. And these eggplants have been sauteed with olive oil, minced garlic, and sea salt and pepper, and that's it. And you can also actually garnish it with green onions and cilantro if you like that.
Oh, you want to put some?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, this looks really good.
So you
Let's try it.
What do you think? Is that refreshing?
It's really good. It's delicious.
Yes. And as you can see, it's very simple. So anybody who's very busy, like students are, any mothers, anyone can make this very simple recipe. As you can take, it doesn't take a long time to make.
So can you tell us about the economic side of this? Does it cost a lot to make recipes like this?
No, this will cost you under $20 actually.
Oh,
and as you can see, like I said, I chose a recipe that's easy, affordable, and convenient because we were always on the go. So we just did it within a few minutes.
Yeah, I saw that. So where can students find the recipes like this?
Okay, so we are actually in the process of getting a Bulldogs in the Kitchen Facebook page where all these recipes will be made available.
So that's gazpachos with salted eggplant. Thank you, Noemi, and thank you to First Quality Produce for providing the vegetables that you used in today's recipe. Now back to Johnny.
Thanks, Cecilia. Some future Bulldogs visited Studio A at Fresno State this morning. More than 75 students from Tehipity Middle School toured Fresno State and the Fresno State Focus studio this morning. They got to see what it's like to work on a real newscast from behind the scenes and even on the set. Ezekiel Grotto says the tour helped him think about his future and what he wants to be when he grows up.
An entrepreneur.
Why?
Because I want to start my own company and make the world a better place and help the world and make things easier.
Of spring tours, Fresno State is getting ready to host thousands of high school students this Saturday for Preview Day. Coming up in sports, find out how the anticipation of March Madness led to an event at Fresno State's bowling alley and which student athlete it attracted. Plus, an exclusive interview with Fresno State women's tennis player Rana Sharif Ahmed. Stay tuned for sports with Brandon Gutierrez.
I got the Bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that Bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to say. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. stay. I got that Bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, down in my toes, down in my toes. I got that Bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey, down in my toes to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that Bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart.
With March Madness just around the corner, Fresno State is coming up with various ways to pump up the red wave for the exciting month of March. March, a month full of madness, specifically college basketball's March Madness. In a year where the Fresno State men's basketball team has exceeded expectations, campus venues like the Bulldog Bowl hosted fun-filled events for students to be a part of the madness and support the team. With deals like $1 games of bowling, free bowling shoe rental, and free billiards and Xbox gaming, students quickly fled to the event to make sure that they didn't miss out.
In all honesty, $1 games, free shoes for bowling, that sounded pretty good to me.
Students would start by signing in with their Fresno State IDs. Once signed in, they then have access to raffle tickets and also a blank March Madness bracket sheet that they would fill out and turn in for potential prizes. With word about the prices, theme, and prize giveaways getting around, the atmosphere surrounding the event and March Madness started to quickly catch on.
The USU has a great atmosphere. It's always fun to come and do something a little out of the ordinary, and it's safe. We've had a great time here before, so we decided to come back and do that again.
Even the Mountain West Conference's preseason player of the year, Marvell Harris, couldn't pass up this event.
Yeah. Dude, I was gonna take that.
It's a lot of fun. After people challenge me to a bowling event, I knew I was gonna win. It's always cool to come out to things like this, hang out with students, and just have a fun time.
A great way to have fun during a maddening month. The Fresno State men's basketball team continued their winning ways on Saturday. After a convincing 87-73 victory on senior night versus Colorado State last Thursday, the Bulldogs traveled to Utah State to take on the Aggies. The Dogs found themselves down 11 at halftime, but stormed back to outscore the Aggies by 12 in the second half, giving them the victory by the slightest of margins, 86-85. With that win, the Bulldogs enter the Mountain West tournament, riding a 6-game winning streak. They will play the winner of UNLV and Air Force tomorrow at 6 p.m. After recording their first tied contest in 30 years, the Bulldogs softball team took on the Golden Bears of California in Fullerton last Saturday to wrap up the CSUF Judy Garman Classic. There would be no tie in this contest as the Bulldogs dominated California en route to a 7-0 shutout of the Golden Bears. The Lady Bulldogs returned to Margie Wright Field on Friday to take on the Weber State Wildcats at 5 p.m. With basketball and softball getting a lot of recent attention due to their success, the Fresno State women's tennis team has also been making some noise, now ranking number 20 in the country. Joining us now is Rana Sharif Ahmed, who's one half of the 20th ranked doubles team in the country. Congratulations on that, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, what is it like to play with your sister on the number 20th ranked team in the country?
It's always fun to play with my sister. I've been playing with her since we were 12, so I know all her decisions on the court. She knows mine, so it's fun.
And the Bulldogs women's team is currently riding a 4-game winning streak as they get set to take on Weber State on Friday. What do you believe the team has to do to extend that number to 5?
We just play as a team, get the fight, the hard work, fight for every ball. That's what we do to win.
So what would you say are the expectations for this team during this season, and what does the team have to do to accomplish those?
What we did is we worked really hard. Our goal is from the beginning of the year is to be top 25. Now we're top 20. We're expected to be top 60 and host NCAA. That's our next goal.
And we've been talking with Rana Sharif Ahmed, women's tennis player for Fresno State. And I also remember that you mentioned that your sister won the Mountain West Player of the Week not only last week, but once again this week. So what was your reaction to that?
I was so happy for her, seeing her winning 2 weeks in a row the title, and I think this is the 4th out of 7 Mountain West titles we get this year.
So do you expect her to win another Player of the Week award with the way that you two are able to communicate with each other on the court?
She's the only ranked player in Mountain West, and she plays #1 for us, so I expect for her to get more.
Well, thank you very much for taking your time to be with us today.
The Pennies for Pets campaign is in full effect. The goal is to raise $105 to benefit the Valley Animal Center. Reporter Nacheli Antonio tells us what the shelter and a group of Fresno State students are doing to reach the goal.
Volunteers and community members gathered on Sunday at the Valley Animal Center for their annual yard sale and bake sale. Baked goods, home decorations, antiques, and just about everything else was up for grabs. The items at the yard sale were donated by community members, with 100% of the proceeds going towards the shelter animals.
As a no-kill shelter, we only run off of donations, so no city or state funding. So we get grants, community support, and a little bit from the services that we provide.
We adopted So Should You is what reads on the banner that these people are posing with. Just like their now pets once waited at the Valley Animal Shelter to be adopted, numerous of other cats and dogs are waiting for their turn.
Influenced by his love for animals, Israel Ramirez gathered a group of classmates and with their marketing skills put together the flyer for the event.
I went to the dog parks and just gave out flyers, thinking that people with dogs or any other animals would come here, feeling that a lot of animals are in need.
After 2 weeks of dedication, Abraham Aganim is amazed to see the community support and plans to continue volunteering.
So I believe that if we care about the animals this way, it's a great cause, you know. Who else is going to care about them?
Funds for the shelter are raised by volunteers, but what the cats and dogs at the center are waiting for is a home. Nacheli Antonio, Fresno State Focus.
Funds collected through the campaign will cover faculty upkeep, medical care, and food. For more information on how to volunteer, donate, or adopt, visit valleyanimal.org. This is such a great story.
What an amazing story. So great to hear stories like that.
Makes me want to go and pick up an animal right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want a pet, but I don't have the time for one, so.
Well, already having 2 animals in my house, I don't know how thrilled my family's going to be if I bring another one home, but it just makes me want to do it.
And then the puppy that Shannon had, oh my God, it was so adorable.
So adorable.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not a big dog fan, but I would go for that one.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I want a small dog, you know, just to like sleep with him and cuddle with him. Because I see pictures of my friends with pets and I'm like, I'm all alone, but then I'm busy and I can't, you know, you're supposed to give time to them too. And so why am I gonna get one, you know, so.
Next week on Fresno State Focus, we will take you inside the new and upcoming Fresno State Children's Opera.
Plus, find out which small town is making a big impact with only one sport.
Also a look at former BMX racer Tony Hoffman's freewheel project.
You can find all our newscasts and more on our YouTube channel, Fresno State Focus TV, and on our Facebook page. We'll see you next week.